Hi everyone, and welcome to the channel. My name is Bork, and today's video is on Chaos Awaken Era by Jade Interactive. Let's go ahead and jump into some gameplay and show you what this game is going to be looking like, alright? So jump into Chapter 3, and let's just do 3-7 for the sake of it. Here you're going to be presented with like the team menu. You can select like any characters that you want. These are the heroes that I've collected. There are spells in this game, so you can cast them like immediately, and you have like an energy system. You can reduce cooldown, and then you can also provide defense breaks. But note here, there's no popping like above your head that says, hey, you have to run like nothing but fire units in order to get like a bonus or something. There's nothing of that sort in the game, so there's a lot of flexibility when it comes to builds and stuff. So I just want to take that into account where you're like, oh, does this game force you in a certain way to play the game to the maximum efficiency? No, there's a lot of freedom. Right now we're playing on auto, and what happened earlier was a spell was casted, and here's going to be some of the animation, which is some of the like the best parts of the game, I have to say, because look, this character actually turned into one of the enemies. He's one of the few characters that can do that. And here's going to be an ultimate by this chica. I believe she's a cross between like a lizard man and also like an elf. So it's like some really unique races within this game. You know, I know it doesn't have like that anime aesthetic, and it's not something that I usually cover, but this game is different, and I feel like it has a lot of promise. And it's one of those things where it's like, all right, I'm always open to trying something new if it has like that level of polish that I'm sort of looking for. Because a lot of the games, like when they release, it's like, hey, you know, is it worth a try, or is it trying something new? This one is definitely trying something new with its art style, but it's also not breaking like that gameplay loop of turn-based RPG. It's very similar to games like, you know, Epic 7, Summoner's Wars, and all that stuff. The way it presents itself is different. It's more of a westernized feel, which I appreciate, because there hasn't been like a westernized like turn-based RPG like this that looks as good, that's not as modern. You know, there's not very many willing to release games like this. And if you're wondering, where is this game based out of? It is based out of US. I tried searching for this game on TapTap, on QApp, on Bilibili. I have a Google spreadsheets later that I'm going to be showing, but all I have to say is that this game is US grown, US bred. So there's no outside influence of like too many like different like systems. One of the interesting things, and we'll show it later, is that there's actually not a gold unequipped system. You know how like in all those other games where when you unequip gear it costs gold? I didn't see it. Let me know if you guys saw it, and we'll showcase it after. Maybe it's on higher tiers of gear, but I like that sort of like system where it's not stingy with the gold, right? So here's going to be like the hero menu where you see like their stats and everything. Here's a green piece of gear, and when I hit change right here, I hit unequip. There's nothing that says like minus gold or anything. If I want to change to this piece of gear, you know, nothing happens outside of the fact that there's a set. Let's say I want to change to like this like piece of gear. There's nothing that says gold is going to be a thing that affects it, alright? That's a huge factor for some people when they're going to be playing the game. So this is going to be the suggestion box on the server of Awaken Chaos Era. What happens here is like players have like different suggestions, like the ability to read descriptions of buffs and debuffs when pausing like the battles and stuff. This is like the small features that players want, and the devs actually take this very seriously. There's a voting system, and you know, this was like written by the devs and everything. While this game is in CBT, there's like a lot of things that they're posting in order to make sure that this game comes out appropriately and they're listening to the audience, right? That's a big thing when it comes to gacha games. Is the devs on board in a Discord actually listening to the players? The fact that this is already available, that's a really good sign, especially for a Western game. And here's going to be the Google spreadsheets, like titles and everything. And here's like some breakdowns. Credits all, of course, to the Discord right here for folks providing suggestions and stuff. And here's some like codes in case you want to redeem them: Ace DCK, Ace FBK, Ace SUV. In case you don't know how to redeem a code, you just click your profile right here, you click account, and you do redemption codes, and you input them all in, alright? Just in case you're wondering about that. And also in case you're wondering who to reroll for, here's some like characters that you can reroll for. Not like these ones down below, but the ones, these 5 right here. He is pretty good. He's like an AoE freeze. Hector, I'm using right now. I don't know, he seems alright. He doesn't seem broken. Not like the best character IMO. Gangelo, good support. I don't know if you really want want to support. Like, I feel like AoE is king in this game in the early game, but who knows? I'm just trying out the game. Darkened Nicholas. This guy was kind of crazy. So I want to take a look at the heroes really quick because they are so insane when it comes to this. You go into index right here and you go to Lasir. This is like the Fallen Kingdom. They have like a little bit of lore in case you want to read it. But this is going to be normal Nicholas, right? He's a fallen king. He's like sort of like this guy who's kind of jaded, right? And then he turns into this fallen version. Now you'll see this in the tutorial when you're playing the game, all right? And if you actually look at his skills, this is a passive where he turns undead for 3 turns. His health reduces to 1. But what happens is his damage scales based off of the amount of health he has lost, right? And then his ult is also based on the amount of health that he lost. And of course, his health is like S+ tier, which is the highest amount of health. The fact that this character exists in the game, so happy it's in CBT, because if he releases in his current state, he would be absolutely broken. But I just love how there's this undead king in the game that like reigns over all. There's so many different characters that have such like different flavors to them, right? There's different factions. Here's like the Holy Empire. What a crazy looking dude, Mysterious Light. And then you have like this assassin based character. There's definitely a lot of lore that's flowing into this game. The dragon scale community, and there's like this lizard man dude. He's like the lizard prophet. These designs, they're just not usually like shown out in other gachas, and I just like the uniqueness of this. I hope that they release like a dragon based character into the game, and not to mention the waifus are pretty top tier of their own. Like, it's different, right? I'm always looking for something different. I always want to try something new. And if you're wondering what is the mainstay of the game, as far as I know, if you jump into everything, feels like arena is like the mainstay. Bronze rank, there's like the glory path and stuff like that. Maybe it'll change. There is like a dungeon, so there's like an endless trial mode. There's like, you know, no man's land. This is like your elemental dungeon, and then you have like your bounty hunts here where you'd fight different bosses and stuff in order to get more stuff. I feel like that's like a sort of tower deal. And then there's like the arcane dominator for armor and accessories, so your classic gear grinds. Another thing I wanted to showcase is the amount of space this game takes. It's roughly 2.19 gigs, so 2.2 gigs. Not too bad overall. Obviously, the visuals speak for themselves, just to like rough everything out. One of the things that I also wanted to talk about is the rookie summon system, alright? So there's a certain point in the game once you hit chapter 2, you'll be presented with essentially 25 summons, and what happens here is you have a chance at getting a legendary, and you can select between the different summons. I'm going through like the different characters that I rerolled for and everything, or was able to acquire, you know, via like the rookie summons deal. And I think it's worth it in case you want to reroll for this game. And rerolling is just, you know, clearing the data and then creating a new instance and everything like that, or uninstall, reinstall the game. It's not a real reroll process in my opinion, but in case you want to do it, you have to get to chapter 2 in order to unlock the rookie summons. I just wanted to showcase that in case you're wondering. To be honest though, I don't think you should be focusing on reroll too much because this game is going to be light. Alright, speaking of summons, let's go ahead and jump into summons. I like the little dragon character that jumps into dimension too in order to do like some summons here. Here's going to be the animations. I like it a lot. It looks so clean, like just for a simple single summon. And of course we'll do a multi. I'll show you how you can obtain a multi. But what happens here is you can use these individual yellow currency. Right now there isn't a benefit to use multis outside of the fact of, you know, you get 10 summons at once. Let's go ahead and try our luck with the single ones. Technically, probability wise, it's all the same. We'll look at rates and everything as this flows. What you really want to see here is this yellow animation. That means it can be an epic like we received here, or you can get a possibility of a legendary. I'm not sure what the exact legendary animation looks like, but you gotta love these summon animations when they put such detail into them, you know? A lot of games, they scuff out, they cheap out on the summons, and they're like, yeah, you just sort of flash and it does like this simple thing. Here, it changes different colors, it can turn yellow. I guess like the biggest thing is it shoots light into the sky and rains like hellfire. I just like the chaos that's all like pretty much going on as you're doing the summons. All right, so pretty cool. We got an extra copy of Zachary. Dupes are pretty important in this game. Here's going to be a thing, so you can purchase 10. I have 1,000 crystals. If you want to know what I'm talking about, if you jump back, here's going to be like the diamond system, and if you don't have enough summons, you can essentially use those diamonds as a substitute in order to buy more summons, right? So now we have a multi right here. Let's see if we can get lucky. Please turn yellow if you love me, little dragon dude. Yellow, yellow, yellow. Yes, it's yellow. Can we get a legendary from here? Absolute please. All right, no, just an epic. That's one epic right there. Can we get a dupe epic? Nope. Okay, we got another copy of Zachary. Well, let's go ahead and showcase something because I feel like this is going to be an important factor for folks to know as you're jumping into the game. There is like this sort of ascension deal, and what happens is you need dupes. But don't worry about like the dupe system because there is a way around it when it comes to this, all right? So we managed to ascend, we increase our stats and everything, but it's not solely locked on, you know, just one particular character. See, we only need one dupe for that one. I'm kind of curious what happens in order to get into future ascensions. Okay, we reached like the max level. Let's go ahead and promote Zachary so we can get around this. Here's going to be like the sort of system in order to do that. So you do little promotions here, very nice. You love to see it, right? These like little upgrade systems, you just want to know how they work so you can understand what this game is gonna sort of throw yourself into. So we can ascend one more time. Yes, it only requires one, so you can also use like this scroll right here, the fire promotion, you know, specific since he's a fire type, and then general promotion scroll, you know, general units. Of course, like different units have different things. Go ahead and jump into a legendary character because his ascension system is quite similar in some ways, right? If you click ascend right here, he also uses the general promotion scroll and fire promotion scroll. I think that one was the same, and of course he uses pretty much a dupe of a character. Just some things to be aware in case you're jumping into this game and you're like, is the dupe system aggressive? Not too bad, I have to say, just because it factors in of like different promotion materials outside of the fact of just having like the character. You can use like these scrolls, right? So final thoughts when it comes to Awaken Chaos Era. Gameplay wise, I really enjoy it. I think it's different enough in the sense of art style and the way it presents like defense breaks, uncastable skills or skills that you can't break from. There's immunities, there's invincibilities. It has enough of like the Summoner's War, like sort of RPG mechanics that can make it stand out above itself. Especially on the visual front, there's not a lot of games that, you know, come out in this style that's properly westernized. So the fact that it can actually release like lizardman characters, elf characters, human characters, undead characters, beast characters, where, you know, there's gonna be like bears and wolves and all kinds of stuff in this game. The diversity that it brings and the fact that we get to fight like this alligator mountain thing, I think like that alone has its own appeal, right? So if you like this sort of art style, you want something different, something a little bit more dark, a little bit more grungier, then I understand. In case you know, want this sort of feel in your games. The thing that makes me hopeful about Chaos Awaken Era is the fact that the devs are on board and trying to make this game better with the Discord, and the community is constantly providing feedback. So long as like everything keeps improving, so long as the diversification of heroes keeps getting better, as long as more waifus keep getting added into the game, I feel like this is something that I'm going to be keeping my eye out on, because there's just not very many games that translate this kind of like westernized heroes properly. And I'm always wanting to diversify what I can cover on the channel, because at the end of the day, if it's fun and if it's free to play enough, you know, to a certain degree everyone can enjoy it, then that's what I'm always looking for. Great games sort of speak for themselves in some ways, you know what I mean? But anyways, if you made it this far in today's video, consider subscribing, dropping a like, leaving a comment, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter. Once we hit 20,000 subs, we're doing a giveaway. Thanks so much for watching. Have yourself a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next one.